And this has all been set up by the huge air committed by the shortstop, Stephen Rowell. Nonetheless, because of the Blue Jay hits here by Miller and Fawcett, if the Blue Jays score here, this will be an earned run.
Just need a little single along fly ball.
So I'd imagine that the entire infield and outfield will be played in. Darbon grabs the stick. And the Golden Eagles coach has called his entire outfield in. They are standing approximately, each one of them, about 20 to 25 feet past the infield grass. A deep fly ball will score the speedy Nicky Miller. So the score is tied at 3. We're in the bottom of the 7th. No outs. The Blue Jays have the bases loaded here in the regional championship game. And Sean Shields will stretch for Ridgewood. Kevin Darbon steps in the stretch. The pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air to deep right field. This will score the run. The right fielder can't grab it. It's over. That was way over his head. Darbon touches first. Nicky Miller touches the plate. The Blue Jays win the game 4-3. For the Blue Jays in the inning, 1 run, 3 hits. There was 1 huge error, and the game is over. The Blue Jays win the regional championship. We'll be back with a recap right after these messages. You're listening to St. Edmund's Blue Jays playoff baseball on KEUN Supersports.
If you want to use the equity in your home without refinancing your first mortgage, you have several choices. A traditional home equity term loan, a home equity line of credit, or a combination of both. A home equity loan or a home equity line of credit both offer the tax advantages of a home secured loan. We're an equal housing lender. Fry Parish Bank. Member FDIC.
Good health to you from Piku, from friendly Piku's drugstore. Piku knows health's a problem you can't afford to ignore. So have your doctor call Piku with your prescription and you'll see. Radio dispatch delivery cars will rush good health to you from Piku.
The Blue Jays have done it here at North Park Field. The regional championship game, defeating Ridgewood 4-3. Kevin Darbon hit a fly ball that just kept taking off, and the ball was flying out here today. The right fielder of the Golden Eagles, Chris Anderson, had no shot at it. By the time he actually turned around, that ball was already on the ground several feet behind him. Nicky Miller scored easily, and the Blue Jays won the game 4-3. They advance to the state quarterfinals. This will be a road game that they'll play probably Thursday or Friday. Let's run down the totals for this game. For the visiting Ridgewood Golden Eagles, 3 runs on the day. Off Kevin Darbon, they were able to muster 4 base hits, and they left on base just 3 men. However, they committed 3 huge errors. The last 2 of them cost them runs. For the hometown and victorious St. Edmund's Blue Jays, 4 runs in the ball game on 9 hits. As many as they had last game, but this was against much tougher pitching. Flawless in the field, no errors. However, they did leave 6 men on base over the first 5 innings. The winning pitcher was Kevin Darbon. He improves his record to 11-0. Sean Shields loses. He falls to 7-2. The Ridgewood Golden Eagles end their season with a record of 20 wins and 11 losses. Time of the game, 2 hours and 3 minutes here on 1490 KEUN Eunice, IDing the station, by the way. Again, Blue Jays defeat the Ridgewood Golden Eagles 4-3. They improve their overall record to 20 wins and no losses. We'll be back with an individual statistical recap right after these messages. You are listening to St. Edmund's Blue Jays playoff baseball on KEUN Supersports.
car may still look new, but that knocking and pinging coming from your hood may be getting old. Maybe you just need a new solution. High-octane gasoline. Introducing new Chevron Supreme with the Techron additive. Formulated to help your car perform the way it was designed. In fact, no other premium gasoline gives you better performance and lower emissions than Chevron Supreme with Techron. That's good news for everybody. Chevron, simply smarter. New Chevron Supreme with Techron is now available at the downtown Chevron and the express lane on the Crowley Highway.
Attention camper, motor, home, and boat owners. Nothing can destroy the appearance of your recreational vehicles more than exposure to elements of sun, rain, or wind. DNR self-storage units can solve your problem. The units measure 15 by 15 by 40 and are large enough to store a camper, motor home, large boat, or automobile, and each unit has electrical power provided. 5 by 10, 10 by 10, and 10 by 20 units are also available. Self-storage units provide security and protection. For more information on DNR self-storage units in many warehouses, call 457-8181.
Guarantee Bank of Mamo is a bank that listens to its customers. When customers are interested in making a loan for home improvements, a new car, opening a savings account, or an IRA, Guarantee Bank of Mamo and Eunice listens. At Guarantee Bank, you'll find people that serve the demands of their customers. Guarantee Bank of Eunice and Mamo, a member of the FDIC.
Before we get to the individual statistics in this game, let's run down Ridgewood took a 1-0 lead in the first inning on a 2-out homer by Stephen Rowell. That lead held up until the bottom of the fourth when Travis Fawcett led off that inning with a home run. Kevin Darbon would then single, Benji Miller would walk, and Jacob Ryder would come through with an RBI double, making the score 2-1. However, Ridgewood just half an inning later fought back with 1 out. Chad Tramuta singled into the left center field gap. Chris Anderson drove him in to tie the score at 2. Then the very tense bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out. Eric Brookhouse doubled down the left field line. The left fielder for the Golden Eagles, Chad Shermy, picked up the ball and threw it past the cutoff man, and it also got past his backup, first baseman Cody Perilou. Brookhouse advanced to third. That brought up Michael Miller, who hit a fly ball to center fielder Chad Tramuta. Tramuta caught the ball, fired it home on 1 hop. The throw beat Brookhouse, but he slid right into the catcher's glove. It knocked the ball out of the catcher's glove. You couldn't see it at first. That's why the umpire took so long to make the call. When the catcher lifted his glove and the umpire saw it on the ground, the umpire signaled that the play was safe. The Blue Jays took a 3-2 lead. The top of the 7th, with the Blue Jays only 3 outs away from winning this game, Chad Chermy, the man who made the air in the bottom of the 6th inning, doubled to lead off that inning. Brad Rodriguez sacrificed him to third base, and then Chad Tramuta with a perfect bunt RBI to tie the score at 3, and that was on a suicide squeeze. Darbon would strike out Chris Anderson, and that would set up the bottom of the 7th inning. Nicky Miller hit a routine grounder in the bottom of the 7th to shortstop Stephen Rowell. However, Rowell threw it into the ground. First baseman Cody Perilou could not handle it, so he was on first with nobody out. Tony Miller on a 2-ball, 2-strike count would then hit a ball, a 3/4 swing that would basically take a couple of hops down the right side. The first baseman dove to his right, knocked down the ball, but he had no play. Travis Fawcett would then single sharply to left, placing runners on third, second, and first. In 2 words, loading the bases, make it 3. Kevin Darbon then came up, and all they needed was a sacrifice fly. He did more than that, drilling a pitch well over the right fielder's head, Chris Anderson. It was just about 15 or 20 feet from going over the ballpark and making that a grand slam. Nicky Miller scored the winning run, and the Blue Jays win the game 4-3. Let's run down individual totals for you. Bucky Case, the leadoff hitter, was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Keith Champagne was 0 for 3. He had 2 strikeouts as well. Stephen Rowell was 1 for 3 with a home run, but he also struck out twice. Cody Perilou, the third-place hitter, made contact every time. He was 0 for 2 with a walk. The designated hitter, Jody Bedreen, was 0 for 2 with a walk. Chad Chermy in the ball game, 1 for 3 with that double and a run scored. Brad Rodriguez was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Chad Tramuta in the ball game hit very well against Kevin Darbon, 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. And Chris Anderson, the 9th-place hitter in this ball game, was 1 for 3. He had a single and an RBI. On the day, Kevin Darbon had 10 strikeouts on the game, and they all proved to be valuable. For the hometown St. Edmunds Blue Jays, Nicky Miller in the ball game was 1 for 4 with a bunt single and a run scored. Tony Miller in the ball game was 2 for 4. Travis Fawcett with a huge home run was 2 for 4. Kevin Darbon, what a player he's been. He's just been the man on this team. 2 for 3. He had the game-winning RBI. Benji Miller, he had a nice game. 1 for 2 with a run scored. He had a big double to lead off the second. Jacob Ryder in the ball game was 1 for 2 with a double and a walk. Eric Brookhouse, he scored that third run of the ball game, a very important one for the Blue Jays. He was 1 for 3 with a double, breaking out of his 0 for 5 postseason slump. Michael Miller in the ball game was 0 for 2 with a big sacrifice fly, which drove in Brookhouse. And Tim Fontenot in the ball game was 0 for 3. The Blue Jays win it over the Golden Eagles of Ridgewood 4-3. I'd like to remind you that this KEUN Supersports presentation was sponsored by All Pro Auto Parts, Manual Cleaners and Laundry, Two Jacques Pharmacy and Gifts, Guarantee Bank of Mamu and Eunice, Guillory Oil Company, DNR Supply, Piku's Drugstore, and by Tri-Parish Bank. For our sound engineer back at the station, Dr. Love, who did a tremendous job on this afternoon, this is John Beltran. Until next time, repeating the final score, St. Edmunds 4 and Ridgewood 3. Good evening, everybody.